Do children listen to what we say? Good evening, dear parents. Today's episode tackles the method of instilling behavior that most parents resort to: shouting and spanking. We will kick off with a talk from Paul Olafsson. In his talk, Paul briefly shows us that when physical force and screaming become part of disciplining, the child always has a tendency to push away. This to the child is his way of coping with things in a survival mode. Let's listen to Paul Olafsson.
I sat in my office, almost hypnotized by this young girl I had met so many times before. She looked me straight in the eyes and said with clear and firm voice, "If I am supposed to believe in me, then you have to believe in me." She had cut her arms with razor blades again. I am a social worker in child protection, and in my work I have met children who do not want to live. Children who do not want to live like this. Children who abuse drugs. Children who do not want to go to school. When I ask these children, "Why are you in this situation?" they answer, "Nobody loves me. Nobody listens to me. Nobody gives me a chance. And nobody sees me who I really am." So the question I want to explore with you today is, what kind of people do we have to be so children don't experience these feelings, so they don't get lost in their lives? Can we do something so children don't lose faith in us adults, so they don't think that nobody cares? I think we can. This talk is based on the wisdom I have learned from my wonderful wife, all of my 5 children, my co-workers, Diane and Judy, the creators of restitution theory, and last but not least, all of those interesting children I have met as a social worker. Do you know what are the most important skills young people have to master when they leave the school system today? They are skills of communication, problem solving, team working, talking, and listening. And remember, you should listen twice as much as you talk. That's why you have 2 ears, but only 1 mouth. But these skills, are we teaching our children those skills? And if not, how can we do it? We have to use good methods guiding our children. Don't ever use physical force. Don't scream, don't shout, don't preach over their heads, don't point your fingers at them. "What have you done? Why can't you be more like your brother? You are useless. I knew this would happen." What will happen is that you go too close to the child. They will try to push you away. They will give you the finger. It is not this finger. They will shout, "Go, leave, I don't want to talk to you." And they learn nothing. Don't blame children. You say something like, "What have you done? Don't you know how much this is hurting me? Why can't you be more like your sister? I can't sleep at night." Children who are hurt through blaming, they say it's like having stone landing in their stomach and they're having trouble getting it out again. They turn down their heads and say, "Sorry, forgive me, it wasn't my fault," always trying to get the stone out and never learning anything. Children don't learn from saying sorry. They learn if we give them another chance and if we believe in them. So we should talk to children, listen to children. And if they make a mistake, we ask them, we give them space to fix it, not by saying sorry, but by doing something they can be proud of. Let me explain. If I make a mistake and I have to talk to my daughter about something very important right now, right this minute, and I make a mistake, scream at her or use angry tone, then I have to relax and wait for a few hours, or even better, until next day. Then both of us can use our brains to communicate. That is, if I remember what this very important issue was, which I usually don't. Let me explain. All this has to do with our brain, our big brain. There we have all our experience, our capacity to fix problems, talking and listening. If we are angry, upset, or scared, we can't use our brain. It switches to survival mode, and we can't use it to fix problems. This is a behavior from old times, very old times, even before the 60s, when I was born. You were going out on the prairie when suddenly saber-toothed tiger jumps at you and wants to eat you. You can't talk to it. I mean, this is a tiger and you are something. And what happens? The brain takes over the situation. He acts in split seconds, stop blood from flowing to your brain and delivers it to your arm. So you throw your spear at the tiger or through your legs, so you run away from this beast. It is the same reason today. If our children are upset, scared, or angry, their brain is in survival mode and they can't talk or listen. They just want to fight or flight. Do you think words are important? Yes, they are. I mean, I use them every day. I'm using them now. But when people are taking in what you are saying, judging your message, only 10% are judged from the words you use. So don't worry so much about what you say to other people. The rest is 35% tonality, how you use your tone, and 55% is your body language. Let me show you. Hello, Daddy is home. So good to see you. Hello, Daddy is home. So good to see you. I love you very much. We can fix this problem. I love you very much. We can fix this problem. And you have to think about your arms and your face. See, this means that you want to fix problem. This means that you don't. Children, they are so great in perceiving this. And if you have closed posture, they close their minds. Do you think children do what we tell them to do? Well, maybe your kid, but most kids, they do what we do, not what we say. That's why no teens are wearing helmets when they are cycling. So show children how to fix problems, how to talk to each other, how to listen to others. Show them your skills and how to enjoy life. Here are a few things that you can do in your life, easy things. Always have lunches or dinners together. Maybe not like this. Daddy, the Master Chief is cooking. Everything is ready. He picks up his phone. Yes, he isn't so old. He has a mobile. And he creates a fabulous Facebook status on the adult speed. Dinner is ready, my wonderful children. Smiley face. But these wonderful children just click unlike, or they send you a message, most likely a Snapchat saying, can you please deliver it to room number 2? No room service in this house, thank you. And if your child doesn't want to eat, remember, the most important is him being a part of the family, him being a part with the table, on the table, not on the table. Remember, don't use this quality time to force him to eat the green stuff. Don't worry, children, they can survive on a breakfast cereal for a few years. Always try to make lunches and dinners together. Children love making food, homemade pizzas, pasta, cookies full of healthy ingredients like sugar, sweet, syrup. Maybe your teenager will come and tell you how unhealthy this is, or wants to show his little brother how to do this exactly right. No, it is exactly 2 spoons. Let me show you. I can do it. Let him do it. The most important is him being a part of this family cooking thing. Always enjoy mornings. Do something special. Wake up 15 minutes earlier and put your holiday plates and your Christmas glasses on the table and light a candle. I promise you, when your 5-year-old comes and sees this, he shines up and says, "Whose birthday is it?" And when your teenager comes down drooling, he looks at you with empty eyes and says, "Have you completely lost your mind? Or did anyone die?" And why do this? Their brain has woken, and that's a good start of the day. Always try to talk with your children in a positive way. Do not only talk about the horrid coworker at your work who is driving you crazy. Make a grown-up world more exciting, or else they wonder, why grow up? And they maybe think that you should grow down instead. I mean, you come home always complaining that you want to be someone else or do something else, but keep on studying so you can have a job when you're older. Why? Okay. Always try to listen to your children. If your child approaches you and wants to talk to you, sit down and give her time. Shut down all electric gizmos and listen. Even teens need to talk about things in their life. Sometimes we think that children know everything. They just Google it. But they can't Google everything. They can't Google feelings. The first heartbreak, when you lost your best friend, when you had to change school. You don't have to have the solution. You just have to listen. Always try to see your children. Don't go and circle around the child in the grocery store who stands alone and cries. Whose kid is this? I mean, they're not dangerous. They don't usually bite. Usually. Go to the child, bend your knees. It is good for your knees. And say, yes, this is a horrible store. You are so right. And then you can say, have you lost your parents? Do you need help? Or you might say, you're a funny kid. Can I keep you? That's why I have 5. No, just kidding. Always try to enjoy having kids. I know it can't be hard. I have 5. I mean, I haven't had a whole night's sleep for like 30 years. But they are wonderful human beings. And even teens can be great and funny. Like when the first adolescent hormone explosion comes to the family. You know, puberty? This is an example. Nobody understands me. You don't understand me. You're too old. I must be adopted. And she runs to her room and slams the door. Bang. You can choose 3 ways to deal with this situation. 1, be angry. Do you know how much this door costs? Just wait. Be a guilter. Don't you know how much this is hurting me? Don't break the door. 3, applaud. Yes, it has arrived. Yes, the adolescent hormone explosion has arrived. Yes. And now it's only 4 years left till it's over. And then you can clap your hands and say, come, do it again. This was great slamming. Do it again. Nothing takes down teen hormone outbursts like doing things again on demand. Give every child who approaches you time, and listen, and you could save a child's life. It has been confirmed that children who are dealing with the most horrible situations in their life at their homes can be saved just by someone who listens to them and talks to them. I have met these survivors, and when I ask, what saved you? Expecting the answer to be us, the experts in the welfare system. No, they say, the lady in the store, my teacher, the father of my best friend, our neighbors, someone who saw me and listened to me. And they can survive on that. So go and find these kids in your children's friends, in class, in sports, and so on. I want to end my talk by quoting one of the bravest child of our time, Malala. She said, talking about violence against girls, "Let this end with us." And I want to use her words and say, let us, all of you, end using physical force on children. Let us end blaming children. Let us end shouting at children. And let us end using too many and negative rules. Let us all of you, begin to listen to all children. Let us all begin to talk to all children. And let us all begin to see all children. And let us help them to be what they really are, our amazing and beautiful future.
In addition to being an inadequate solution to behavioral problems, spanking a child and shouting can actually create more problems. The following are a few reasons spanking and shouting do not work to change a child's behavior. First, it doesn't teach appropriate behavior. A child who gets spanked for arguing with his sibling won't learn how to get along better in the future. Effective discipline teaches a child new skills and builds their competency and confidence. Spanking degrades trust and self-confidence while only teaching a child what not to do. It also models aggression. Children do what parents do more than what they say. If you spank your child for hitting his sibling, for example, you're sending a confusing message. Studies have linked the experience of getting spanked to more aggressive behavior, mental health conditions, and other detrimental outcomes for the child, similar to the impact of being physically abused. It also creates shame. If your child has been struck, a child might think, "I'm bad," and struggled with self-esteem, trust, and mental health issues. Children feeling shame and are not motivated to improve their behavior and begin to feel that they cannot do better. Hitting a child to modify his behavior tells him that he can't learn in a more positive way and doesn't deserve to be treated respectfully. Gentler discipline techniques are more effective while also building a kid's self-confidence. It shifts focus to parents' behavior. Instead of helping your child think about what he could do better next time, spanking and shouting are more likely to make him angry at his parent. Kids in this situation begin to think in terms of, what can I do that won't get me a spanking, instead of, what's the best choice I can make right now? The spanking avoidance dynamic can also encourage lying. It loses effectiveness over time. Sometimes kids decide the misbehavior is worth it. They might even get used to corporal punishment, in which case it stops being a deterrent. A more effective discipline strategy includes understanding the reason behind the behavior and that reason for having that conversation with the child in an authentic and open way. Punishment is about inflicting discomfort or pain, while discipline is about teaching and guiding. It doesn't work for older kids and teens also. If you have always used spanking to discipline your child, what will you do when he becomes a teen? Using physical punishment teaches kids that it's okay for the stronger person to hurt someone who does nothing. It's good to hurt someone that they don't like. Spanking employs shame and pain to discourage and punish rather than dealing with the tool or the root of the child's behavior. According to a 2018 survey of pediatricians published in the Journal of Pediatrics, only 6% of doctors surveyed endorsed spanking. Only 2.5% anticipated positive outcomes from the use of discipline practice. There are plenty of age-appropriate discipline strategies that you can use as an alternative to spanking throughout your child's life. Many discipline strategies are more effective, actually, than spanking. You will want to consider alternative negative consequences that will reinforce your rules without hurting your child, such as removing privileges. If your child colors on the walls, a logical consequence would be to have him wash the walls. This teaches him to have more respect for property. It also sends the message that his misbehavior will have consequences. Restitution helps restore relationships and gives children the chance to learn new skills. The technique can be very effective for aggressive behavior and works well for children and teens of all ages. Using praise to encourage positive behavior is another effective alternative to spanking. When you catch your child doing good, make sure he knows that you noticed. Kids tend to perform to parents' expectations. It is important that children's sense of self is not lost in parental expectations. Children need to develop a sense of pride in their own behavioral choices that is based on internal motivation rather than external approval. May the ties that bind families be with us always. Until next week, this is your host, Toti San Pedro.